Hey friends, Brenda Earl-Stokes, owner and creator of Piano and Voice with Brenda, and I'm back for another Motivation Monday. I apologize that I haven't posted one in a couple of weeks, but I've been heavily motivated actually building my next course, which I will tell you about in another video. I wanted to talk today about, I think, one of my mantras for life, and it's the phrase is, move a muscle, change a thought. Okay, and I think this is a 12-step thing. I've heard people say it in 12-step programs before. The idea is you can act your way into right thinking, but you can't think your way into right acting. Now, this came up. I was interviewed by Marcus Goldhaber on his podcast live stream on Monday, and he asked me what lots of people ask me, which is like, how do I get all this stuff done? And you know, if you don't know me very well, I have been homeschooling my son this year. I'll be continuing next year. He's home with me full time, and I've been teaching him all of the subjects. And I still run a busy private studio, and I've also somehow in the last year managed to release 4 online courses. So it was, I think, one of my most productive years. And I don't know, I still am kind of moving along. So anyways, one thing that I've seen that can be a hang up for people is that there's all kinds of preparation to do a project. And I know that there's a huge business now of people who are like life coaches or business coaches or mindset coaches. And I think all of that stuff is really great and is really useful. But I think the biggest thing that can hang people up is where you start to devote a lot of time and energy into like mindset and, you know, life coaching, all that kind of thing. And you don't even get to do the thing that you've been trying to do. And so I'll say like a big hang up, I think, for people accomplishing things or getting on the right track is trying to take too many steps before you actually start. And it's something that I think is really worth looking at. Now, obviously, if you have something that you've been dreaming to do or you've been wanting to do, and you're so crippled by self-doubt or you're just completely unable to do it, I mean, that's, of course, a great time to ask for help from somebody. But what I have found has been really helpful with my own life and my own work, and also with a ton of my students as well, people that I work with, has been to just start. Just do it. Just do whatever it is. An example might be, I know a bunch of musicians and music teachers who have been, you know, wanting to get a newsletter together. I mean, like, raise your hand if that's you, you know, just to get a newsletter out. And the best way to do that, and you might be afraid of doing that because you don't do well with technology or, you know, whatever it is. And so what my advice is just to do something, take an action in that direction. Ask your Facebook friends what mailing list provider they use. Do some research and compare 3 of them and pick whichever one seems like it makes the most sense for you. And then do the onboarding process for it so that you can learn it, right? Instead of feeling, oh, I've got a mindset problem, I've got this and that. I mean, what I found in my own life is that as soon as I start making steps towards the goal, it can be very motivating. It can really put the wind in my sails. It can really get me going because, you know, every time I address a problem or jump over a hurdle, it builds that momentum because I think to myself, oh, wow, like I actually can do this. I really can do it. Now, I've seen this with lots of my piano students too, especially. I work with a lot of singers who are struggling with piano skills. That's hence my 2 courses, Piano Skills for Singers. And a lot of, for them, it's been the same thing. Like for years and years and years, the piano thing was a hairy monster, and they did this and they tried that, and it never really worked. And then we have to sit down and just say, you know what, I'm gonna work on this every day. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes a day working on this. And what will end up happening is the snowball effect kicks in. You get a little bit of skills and then you think, oh wow, I can actually do this. And it really builds the momentum to be able to move things forward. Now, as an example from my own life, you know, I just said I have these 8 online courses and I'm working on, well, I have 8, working on number 8 right now. And, you know, it may look like, oh, well, she just whips them out. Well, I'll tell you, 3 years ago, it's the 3-year anniversary of the first course, of releasing the first course and doing this whole thing. I had no flipping idea what I was doing. I had never used any technology outside of like an external recording device. Like I didn't even have a microphone that plugged into my computer. And I had never used a video camera before. I had never used video editing software before. I mean, I'd hardly used GarageBand. I mean, seriously, I really had no clue what I was doing. And, you know, it seemed like such a crazy idea to do, but I kind of thought, well, let me just give it a go and see what happens. And I can tell you, like, I started really small. I researched a video camera, and then once I researched the video camera and got it, then I kind of was troubleshooting as I went. And every mistake that could have been made, I made. I recorded entire, like, an hour's worth of footage without turning the microphone on. Like, seriously, like really, really dumb stuff. My computer system crashed a whole bunch of times, and I realized that it didn't have the right amount of something. I don't even know. Didn't have the right amount of something, and I ended up having to get a new computer because it was just one thing after another after another. I had hard drive crashes. I mean, it was a disaster. And then when I finally got the first course finished and posted it up on my website, I got a massive computer virus and my whole website crashed. It was a disaster. There were many, many times where I wanted to quit, but the good thing about me is that I'm extremely stubborn, and so I usually try to move through it. But what ended up happening every time I had to troubleshoot or I kind of crossed the threshold of another total screw up was that I started having more faith and trust in my capacity to do things. And so I kept moving my muscle, you know, like move a muscle, change a thought. I kept moving my muscle. I kept just saying, all right, so this didn't work. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. And, you know, it built my confidence to a point where now people are asking me for help building their courses or giving them feedback or giving them ideas or helping them. Training other people to, you know, take these steps. People are starting to look at me as like an expert and someone who creates online courses and YouTube videos. And that's, you know, incredible to me, because 3 years ago, I was literally, I mean, ask my husband, there were many times where there were a whole bunch of bad words coming from my studio, or times where I would just come out in tears and say, I can't believe I messed it up again. But, you know, 3 years later, and I'm, you know, 3/4 of the way through filming a new course, and it's been calm and easy, and I know all the steps and I know what to do. But I came by that really honestly because I really had no clue what I was doing. And so I say this because I know that there's so many people out there who have things that they really, really want to do. And like, come on, you know it. If you're watching this and there's something, you know what it is. And you know, like that there's something keeping you from doing it. And what I would say is, if you are able to not worry too much about the mindset stuff and just do one thing that will move you closer to it and see what happens. So again, like, get the video camera, watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how it works, or you know, start your Instagram profile and watch some videos on how to, you know, make Instagram posts, or whatever any of these things are that you're struggling with. You know, I know a lot of classical piano teachers who are wanting to expand their skills and learn jazz. Like, just sign up for a course or take a few lessons with someone. I can recommend both. If you're serious about that. Take an online course, watch YouTube videos, just do something today. If you want to start a practice routine, like, just do it right now. Just turn this off and go spend 5 minutes doing it. And what ends up happening is you build that momentum and you can change your mindset just by taking action. So anyways, that's my Motivation Monday. I hope it's motivational. You know, these are the kinds of things that I have to remind myself all the time, because I have tons of doubts about what I'm doing. And a lot of times I look at, you know, all the stuff that I'm trying to do and I think, this is crazy, or what's the point of this? What am I doing? But I know inside that this is really the right path for me, and that this is the accumulation of a lot of like really intense work that I've done in my life. And, you know, I'm starting to believe in it, because it seems like every time I do this, there's something that comes out of it for myself and also for other people. So anyways, move a muscle, change a thought, see if you can act your way into right thinking. I hope this was helpful. If you liked it, or if this is something that you're thinking about, you know, make sure you leave a like or a comment below. It helps me to know that I'm not just like talking to myself. And I'll be posting more exciting news about the new course very soon. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.